of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV. Get in, yes.
Hey,
come on. Okay, so before we get into before we get in the show, if you do like what you see, please do smash that like. It really does help keep the channel towards top of the search and means new viewers can find the channel as well. Also, if you are brand new at the channel, come and hit the subscribe, come and join this great community we have here, and also that bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. Currently on 981 subscribers, so just 9 away now from 1,000. Can we hit that during this show? Let's see if we can get another 9 subscribers on board. Also, if you want to become a member, 99p a month, just click the join button. If you want to make a donation, you can do that by clicking the $sign in the chat as well. I mean, look, I'm going to get into the comments first, and then we'll get into the thick of the action. Right, Andrew says, we were simply magic. Yes, we were.
Yes,
Clarky says, fucking beautiful. Absolutely, Clarky. Keeping the tune, Jason says, breaking news. The season has just ended and NUFC are the new Premier League champions. Do you know what, Jason? That would be absolutely fantastic that happened, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Mason says, what a performance. Absolutely, Mason. Knight says, can you stay top of the league? Yeah, you can, because after one game, we are top of the league. We're at the opposite end of Villa. You see, opposites attract. Mason says, has anyone heard from Villa Watch tonight? He seems very quiet. No, I've not heard from Villa Watch. I think he's gone back into hiding, unfortunately. He's gone underground. Paul says, got my score right. Just wish I put a bet on a fantastic game. Should have put a bet on it, Paul. Should have put a bet on. Even if it was a daft pound, it might have just come in for you. And that's Roly's coming. Not so much of a good evening, says Beer. In any way, trust us and all the way a problem. We got the power, absolutely, yeah. Mighty Max says, evening, everyone. Anyone seen Villa Watch? No, we haven't seen him. Clarky says, how does Longstaff and Willock get back in this team? With great difficulty indeed. Yeah. Stephen says, what a game, what a team. Absolutely, Stephen. Arsenal since 1987. What a fantastic win for you guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, you got a close win today, but yeah, it was a hell of a win. Wayne says, hello, Roly, and all in the chat. Pure class, and the lads should have been 6 or 7 easy. Yeah, we'll get into it. Tonali was beautiful to watch today, says Corvo and UFC. Absolutely, mate. Hello, Tony and Roly, says Wayne. Hi, Wayne. Hope you're well. Oliver says, how are the lads? Absolutely, Oliver. Yeah, how are the lads? Absolutely fantastic, mate. Won it. 5-1. Man, how are the lads? Absolutely, Paul Gardner. Definitely, mate. Oliver says, what a win. Did I say 5-1 last night in the chat? I can't remember, but you may well have done. I might have to look back on that. Yeah. John said, well, not last night, being the night before, but yeah. John says, evening, everyone. What a game. Couldn't have gone better. Absolutely. Mighty Max says, left back is still our weak link. Jason says, written in the stars, a first Toon goal scored by Tonali. Couldn't put it better myself. What happened to Diaby? Oh, that's right. He was now a defence's back pocket. Class game. Tonali reminds me a mix of Emery and Kabay. Yes, absolutely, Paul. Sai says, and the critics says we overpaid for Tonali. Ha, egg on their egg meat face, absolutely. Isak, beautiful man, says Corvo, absolutely.
Yeah.
Alan says, what a performance, how good was Tonali, absolutely. Ronald says, as I stated, I was baffled with some of the negativity of some of our fans prior to this game, and I was right. But even I was surprised with that battering. Myself, Kushti is out, absolutely, Ron, absolutely, mate. Bia says, could have been 8 or 9 past the World Cup winning goalkeeper. Sydney says, Villa will finish above Newcastle. Newcastle will finish 6 to 8. Signings are underwhelming and just some of the shit spouted this week by the so-called experts. Get back under your rocks. Well, we'll see what happens, mate. See what happens in the season.
I think he's having a go at the experts then, not the team.
All right, okay. Hi, Tony and Roly, 5-1, going on 8, lol. Yeah, should have been. All right, okay then. Yeah, sorry, mate. Sorry, Sydney. I read your comment wrong. Sorry, I do apologise. Mighty Max says, Tonali was out this world and born to class, going like a new player. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Martinez, a World Cup winner, schooled by our lads and was picked the ball out the net. He was picking strawberries in the field. Yeah, I hear he's had to have a massage because he got a bit of backache bending down for the ball. But I say, it's evening, Tony and Roly. Well, that was a lot easier than I think we lot expected. Yeah. Hi, Tony and Roly, says Trolls. Good evening, Trolls.
Yes, get in.
I seen the 5-1. I said 3-1. Yeah. Mighty Mag says, I hope the injury with Villa player isn't too bad and the speed of recovery time remains.
Absolutely.
Jan says, I was wrong. I said 4-0 for me. Barnes' best buy we did so far, absolutely.
I don't know about the best buy, but he's good.
Yeah, he is. Corvo says we are spitting all over Villa like Carragher does from a car window. Absolutely, that man's just vile anyway. He said spitting. Yeah, I knew what you meant, mate. Was surprised Gordon started, but the boy did well. And Barnes coming on looked amazing as well. Absolutely. I mean, look, if there's any Villa fans watching this stream, do come on and tell us what you think of your team. I mean, we're open to all fans, so just come on and, if don't be shy. We won't bite. Right. Okay then.
Hard on you.
Right. So the game started, and the game started. Anthony Gordon looked up for it straight away. You could see how much he was fizzing about. Then the ball breaks out to him, and he puts in a beautiful cross, absolute inch perfect cross. And who's there to meet it? Tonali. Right foot into the back of the net, bang, 1-0. And to cue the celebration from Tonali, I mean, look, he was absolutely on fire. You could see how much it meant to him getting that goal. He was, you could just see the jubilation on his face.
He still didn't smile.
Yeah, and then you look at it and you say, well, hang on a minute. This is a guy who didn't want to be here. And, look at the way he celebrated his goal in style and, the way everybody got round him. And, there he is there on screen, absolutely fantastic. A dream debut in the Premier League as well, in a league that's totally different from Serie A. So him to get his first goal, absolutely brilliant. Then we got the sucker punch on 11 minutes when a ball came in, which took a couple of deflections, and Diaby put it in the back of the net on his wrong foot, on his weaker foot. Although Almiron did switch off, which he shouldn't have switched off if he hadn't have. They don't get that goal. The assist come from Watkins, but, didn't last long, that lead, before we had a free kick. And Trippier floated a lovely ball over, which Botman got down, managed to slide the crossover, and in went Isak.
Because it was Trippier passed it to Tonali.
Tonali, sorry, that's right, Tonali. Yes, sorry, Tonali. Yeah, it was Tonali's cross, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful ball.
It was, and then yes, sorry, Roly, that is my mistake. and obviously into the path of Isak, who put it away. Then we had a little bit of a VAR check, and then VAR decided it was a goal. So VAR was actually switched on for us for a change, which was nice to see. And then we saw Isak do a turn on Mings. I mean, it wasn't Isak's fault that Mings got an injury. It was a shoulder to shoulder, but it was nothing he done wrong. And why they were even querying it is beyond me. I mean, look, in that first half, there must have been at least 3 fouls on Anthony Gordon from Matty Cash. Where was the referee's yellow card for Matty Cash? Because I'll tell you now, every time he fouled Anthony Gordon, yes, we got the free kicks. But I'm like, come on, referee, where is the yellow card for this guy? You know, this guy is not, I'm sorry, but Matty Cash is not a Premier League footballer. How he even gets in the Poland national team is beyond me. Because he's not even that great. I don't rate him.
The Polish
there was him, there was John McGinn.
The Polish national team's not that good. That's why he gets in.
But I thought Villa were very dirty in that first half. We saw Martinez get a yellow card he completely took out Almiron. Now, if you look at the way he took out Almiron, if you go back a couple of seasons ago, before Eddie Howe was just about to take over, we played Brighton at the Amex. Robert Sanchez did the same with Callum Wilson, come flying out the goal and took Wilson down. And this is where I think if a keeper comes out like that and deliberately takes a player out like that, I think they need to change the rules here, and I think they need to award a penalty, because that is rash. And I don't care if there was a defender there covering, he should have gone for that. He should have gone. And then he's got the cheek to tap Almiron on the face as well. And then after that, he's got a goal kick and he's taking his time over the goal kick. And I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. The referee's surely going to do something. No wonder the referee was told you're not fit to referee, because Andy Madley is a shocking referee. And how he's even got a FIFA badge on there as well is beyond me, because he ain't that great. So that was the first half. It was 2-1 up. And we thought, right, okay. And I was thinking, that's mine and Roly's score. We've got the score right so far. It's 2-1 if it doesn't get any more goals. Second half came.
My 2-1 prediction was for the first half. I didn't realise we had to do it for the whole game.
So second half kicked off. And on 58 minutes, Isak got his second. Konsa made an error. A huge error. He should have controlled that ball better. He didn't. Isak got it. And what a beautiful little lob over the goalkeeper, over Martinez. Couldn't happen to a better guy who's a cheating Argentinian, by the way. Couldn't happen to a better guy, and makes a 3-1. And you think, right, okay, that's game over now. It nearly happened where Cash should have scored. But I believe that ball's still in orbit at the moment. It's just passing Mars at the minute. Because it went that high, it's still flying through space. If he'd made a 3-2, that's a totally different game. But he didn't. And then we made substitutions. And then Barnes squared to Wilson, who put the ball in the back of the net. Wilson probably should have scored a second shortly after. And he knows he should have. And then Barnes wraps it up in injury time, makes it 5-1. The whole team was on fire. The whole team was on fire. And I just thought, absolutely fantastic. Great performance from the guys. My man of the match was Tonali. Look, I know Isak got 2 goals, but to me, Tonali was man of the match. I thought he had a great game. Even got a booking for taking his time going off at the end. Bruno got a booking for doing that to the referee, didn't like it. It's just a shame this referee wasn't more like that with the Aston Villa players, booking them, because some of them players, there should have been some of them players sent off, in all honesty. The likes of Matty Cash, he shouldn't even been on the field because the amount of fouls he was giving away. But we totally tore them apart. You could see Emery's face sitting there. He knew he was ripped apart. And so Villa are now sitting bottom of the league. But they've got a lot to recover from this now, Villa. And before I get to you, Roly, I'll just nip into some comments and we'll see what people have to say, because this was absolutely brilliant today. I mean, look, he's got to be definitely man of the match for me, that's for sure. Harvey Barnes will be great this season. He's really comfortable in front of goal, isn't he just? Yes, absolutely. John says, looked like a serious knee injury to Tyrone Mings. Thought our fans treated him with respect. Absolutely clapped him off the field. Yeah, definitely. Mark says, you got to laugh at the media, haven't you just? Yeah. Barnes is better than Madison all day long, says Corvo. Do you know what it is? He is. And that probably even give him more satisfaction scored against one of his rivals, because when he played for Leicester, Villa were one of his rivals. And I bet Tielemans knew when Barnes came on that was game over. Jason says, you want to drip me a link, mate? I'll jump in. Yeah, I will do, mate. No problem. Barnes is better than Maxi as well. Gordon was mega, absolutely. He's smiling in the changing room photo. Yes, he is. I mean, look, I can put that photo on there. There you go. And Tonali is smiling. He's right at the front there, smiling away with his Nike sliders on. You know. So there we go. I mean, look, we see a smile out with Tonali. I just think people are just making a lot of it. People are saying Tonali not smelling as well. That Italian stallion was smelling from ear to ear today, wasn't he? Just, yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, when you look at the photos when the team were coming into the ground, Livermento wasn't smelling. Does that mean he doesn't want to beat Newcastle United? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So these people need to just grow up and grow a pair of balls. Call up the tweet from Sky about Bruno and Tonali had me in stitches. I'll have to have a look at that. Tonali looked like he's played a whole season for us, absolutely.
Yeah, he did.
Red Newcastle's latest tweet, bro doesn't even want to be here. Haha, absolutely. Gordon was excellent, justified his selection easily. The ref was shit. Yes, he was. He was terrible, Andy Madley. Callum Wilson has now scored 5 seasons in a row and an opening day, hasn't he? Yes, he has. Yeah. And the thing is, today was the first time we've scored 5 goals on an opening day since 1989, when Mickey Quinn scored 4 goals against Leeds United. We beat them 5-2. And we beat them 5-2 because I was at that game. I remember that well.
I remember it. The
mighty Quinn. Sydney says, I think we will cause Man City all kinds of problems next week. I definitely fancy them. To upset. Do you know what it is, Sydney? I think you're right, mate, because I think Man City look at this now and they'll be like, wow. And remember, they've got a Super Cup match in the week as well. So
And De Bruyne is going to be injured.
Paul, I think Villa will flop this season. Their defence is terrible, isn't it just? Tonali looked today like he was playing for years. The man ran that midfield and his passing is delicious. Chef kiss. I mean, look, Corvo, I mean, the thing is, Jamie Redknapp even said, look, considering it's his first time in the Premier League, he did really, really well. David says, that was a red for me. The goalkeeper, the referee was absolutely shit. Yeah, I mean, Eddie Howe did see on Sky that, yes, we are still looking for players. So, you know, to watch the space. Ian says, what a performance. We are Newcastle United, absolutely. And he says, I'm not having this Villa or crap stuff. We were superb. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We absolutely slaughtered them. We were clinical. That is the key word, clinical. Everything we hit turned to goal. I mean, we could have had 7 or 8 goals in that game and it wouldn't have looked out of place. You know, media hate to see Newcastle win, says Mark the Do. Paul says, does anyone feel sorry for Harry Kane? The bloke is still, well, he's on the bench for buy-in tonight. That keeper should have been sent off. Ref is a divvy. What a rage. I was raging as well. We were winning. Or my TV would have been through the window, says don't put your TV through the window. Not worth it, mate. Barnes only played a few minutes, scored an assist, absolutely. Does anyone feel sorry for Harry Kane? The bloke is still learning English and now has to start learning German. Tonali will take time to settle, or said everyone. Craig says, we were fantastic. We kept a very dangerous Villa at arm's length until we took control at 3-1. Then we blew them off the park. Professional as it gets, yeah. If Matty Cash had scored, it was a different game, I think. What a debut. Bring on anyone who we take no prisoners. 22 minutes for Harvey Barnes and assist in the goal. What a belter, absolutely.
Yeah.
He had to Bruno the rule book. Yeah, it is the rules now. You can't just do that. You're not allowed to. You get wrong for that. And Bruno didn't care really. Sai says the way Tonali scored today was reminiscent of the way Gary Speed would arrive late in the box. Do you know what? That is well said. Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling Gordon is a better player, but Barnes looks lethal. Interesting duel. Yeah. Stephen says, what I love most now is the new signings aren't just mint. They look like they've been part of the team for months. Such a tight team, absolutely.
That's due to the way that we do the recruitment. We look for the character as well as the player, so they fit in.
Wayne says they were all immense, but Tonali and Gordon stood out for me. Mickey Quinn's a legend, says Ian, absolutely. I did watch City game last night and got a problem at the back, and they've got a problem at the back and midfield. Ronald says, I was there, Mickey Quinn, and met him a few times. He was on a bevy with his last in the two. He's fat, he's ruined, he scores in every ground. Do you know what it is? He does. I mean, look, I live in Suffolk now, and he lives Newmarket, so he doesn't live too far from me. And I do bump into him from time to time, and I'll tell you what, he's happy to talk, no problem whatsoever. He's a really, really nice guy. He's a horse racing trainer, by the way, but he's a really nice guy. Hi, lads. Well, now we know, absolutely. And Jason says, Kane's just come on for buying. Okay, Roly, give me your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, fantastic. Great start. You couldn't have scripted it better. Tonali opening the scoring. Obviously, Villa came back with a goal from Diaby, a really good finish. But the cross from Watkins took a deflection, which then was a nice flick on for Diaby to finish. And obviously that free kick that we had. When I saw where Tonali was lined up, I thought, he's going to pass it to Tonali, and he did. A beautiful ball in. Botman was stayed onside. When he played at the cross, that made Isak onside, and a beautiful finish. Even then, it till it was really even game, and then obviously Mings got his injury. Hopefully, it's not too bad. That took the atmosphere. It sort of really deflated the place because everyone's obviously worried about Mings. Then obviously had the incident with Martinez and Miggy. It's just one of those ones where technically Madley actually got that one right. It is a yellow card because it wasn't an obvious goal scoring opportunity, but he had no intention of playing the ball. That challenge wouldn't have been out of place at Twickenham. He just went to take Miggy out, and with it being so blatant and so cynical, the ref should be allowed to give him a straight red. But as the rules stand at the moment, it's just a yellow card. But we made up for it because we kept putting the ball past him. Second half, that goal by Isak, that killed them. Our high press caused him to make lots of mistakes, and that one, I think he heard the footsteps. Oh, bloody hell, he's on me, and then forgot about the ball. And what a sublime chip by Isak. Then the floodgates open. I mean, Isak should have had a hat trick. Decent save by Martinez, but he should have scored. And then obviously they start making the changes, and then Barnes to Wilson, he scores, and Barnes to Wilson, and he should have scored, and he didn't. Another save by Martinez, and then to top it all off, Harvey Barnes cutting inside, lashing it in the bottom corner like he's been doing in pre-season, and Diaby looked good in the first half. I didn't notice he was on the pitch in the second. Anthony Gordon, I thought, was superb. He's drawing lots of fouls. Matty Cash, he should have been booked earlier than he was. I thought Tonali ran the show. Bruno, he was okay. He was good, but he just looked a little bit, by his standards from last season, he looked a little bit off the pace. But what a midfield we've got there. I'm not saying that Bruno was bad by any stretch of the imagination, but he can play better. but with shaping like that, we've got a superb midfield. Joe Linton was Joe Linton, all action, getting in, getting stuck in. Tonali, Bruno, and people before the game were worrying about Diaby against Dan Burn. I thought Dan Burn was superb at left back. Never really got done. I think the thing with Dan Burn is that because he's so big, people don't think he's quick, but when he actually gets going because of his long legs, he's actually got a bit of pace on him. It's just it takes him time to get up to speed because he's got that frame to shift. But he's never really got skinned. I thought that, I mean, Jacob Murphy's ball for Harvey Barnes was superb.
Oh, it was inch perfect, wasn't it? I mean, plus he could have, maybe towards the end of the game, he should have fed Dan Burn. I mean, Dan Burn had busted a lung to get forward. And if he'd just spotted him, I think Dan Burn would have probably put one past Martinez.
I think we're nitpicking a bit there.
Yeah, but Roly, it's nitpicking, but you can still say, well, if you saw Dan.
Yeah, I mean,
what I'm saying is, if he did see Dan Burn and he passed it.
Yeah. I know.
Burn's got a chance of scoring.
I understand what you're saying. Is just in the euphoria of such a good win. I'm not in the mood for nitpicking, but yeah,
no, it's not nitpicking, Roly. It's just I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. Observations, let's say then.
Right, I just want to show a picture a moment for everybody, and I think this is absolutely fantastic. By the way, so there we go. That's the Azzurri Italian international side, and they've put on "How the lad" Tonali.
Yeah,
I think that's really class from them. Absolutely fantastic, and well done, Italy, for doing that. I mean, look. For the Italians to put that on, the Azzurri, absolutely brilliant. And that's very classy from them indeed, to share the picture of Tonali and say, how are you, the lad? So, yeah, absolutely brilliant that. And there he is in his Italian strip.
I think everyone...
I just thought I would show that anyway.
Yeah. I thought everyone was really good. There's a little bit of rust, a few mistakes, but you expect that at the beginning of the season. Defensively, I mean, we could have marked better for their goal, and they got a couple of chances that early on, but in the second half, we just destroyed them.
But Almiron switched off for that goal.
Yeah,
and that Almiron will learn from that, and he'll learn from that because Eddie Howe will say to him when they sit down and watch it again. You'll see, why did you switch off? And Almiron will go, oh yeah, I'll make sure I won't do that next time.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. That's how Eddie does it.
There's one thing that really surprised me in the game today, is that Fabian Schär didn't get injured.
That's not the police for you, Roly, is it?
He normally gets a head injury or gets clattered in the game, and he didn't today.
Yeah. Oliver's just put an interesting comment in there. Caicedo signed for Chelsea, to horse teeth club, F off. I mean, look, he didn't want to go to Liverpool, but he wanted to go to Chelsea. I mean, I think that's brilliant. Klopp thought, you've got a £11 million player on me hands here. And, sorry, you haven't, because he doesn't want to sign for you.
I thought that was so funny.
Anyway, we've got Jason. Hi, Jason. How are you, mate?
Hey, how are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Doing all good. How are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely win.
What a brilliant game that was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Loved every minute of it. I was thinking that it was going to be a tough game. End of last season, we lose 3-0. During pre-season in America, we drew 3-3. I'm thinking 2-1 at best. We're 2-1 up within the first 20, and I'm like, we got to now keep a clean sheet and for the rest of the entire game now. 5-1, I was not expecting that one bit.
No. It could have been 6 or 7 quite easily.
Could have easily been that.
But the thing about it was up until the third goal went in, Villa were competitive. And it was tough going, but when we got the third goal, we basically earned the right to play, and they sort of lost it, and we took full advantage of it. Then they started making all sorts of mistakes, and they were really ragged. I'm not sure whether the injury to Mings was still playing on them, but we put them to the sword.
Yeah.
I mean, but the score line isn't flattering for us because Isak should have had a hat trick and Wilson should have had 2. But Villa will be a good side. They won't get beat like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get beat like that again this season.
I think they will, Rory. I think
they're a good side. It's just that we were superb today.
We were just clinical. I mean, Fabrizio Romano's put understand the agreement between Moses Caicedo and Chelsea is for the contract to be valid until June 2031, 8-year deal. Yeah, but the contract will also include an option until 2032 for one more season. Caicedo's agreed the personal terms with Chelsea at the end of May. The clubs are now close to working the deal out. So there you go. I mean, 2031. I thought these 8-year deals weren't allowed to happen anymore, but obviously because Chelsea, they're getting away with it.
It's not the deal. It's not the contract. The contract, they can do whatever contract they like. It's just
no, because apparently UEFA were going to cap it at 5 years.
No, that's what you can spread the actual transfer fee over. It's not the length of the contract. Because before,
they did try to cap the contracts as well.
Did they? I didn't realise that.
Yeah, it was meant to be 5-year max on contracts. You can't go over that amount now.
No, I thought it was just that you couldn't spread the.
But as always, it's the big 6 get one rule, the other 14 get the other.
Well, I'm not bothered about Chelsea, to be honest.
I mean, Paul King says, taking nothing away from the tune, we were brilliant, but I think the Mings injury affected Villa badly, watching him crying on the pitch, then having to rearrange how they play.
Yeah, I think that did have something to it, but there's still...
Yeah.
You look at the game as a whole, it was only when we went 3-0 up that they fell apart, because they were still good and competitive for the remainder of that half and the start of the second half until we got that third goal.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I think it may have had something to do with it, but I don't think that. I think they were sort of trying to. I think that half the thing is we blew them away in the second half, and I don't think Mings' injury had anything to do with it.
No, I don't.
Our play. I'm sure it did affect them, but I don't think it was to such an extent that it affected their final score, because we were that good in the second half.
Yeah, definitely, Roly.
I bet Martinez actually hopes he was wished he was sent off after that performance.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's just, he just. I think with Martinez, he just thinks he can do whatever he wants, doesn't he? And he always has that stupid smirk on his face, doesn't he? As if he's arrogant, isn't he? And
well, we soon wipe that off his face.
Yeah. I mean, yes, he is a good goalkeeper, but I'm not being funny. He's not that great, is he? Really?
Mm.
Well, the table shows that.
But then Villa weren't that great either with us. So I mean, look, Matty Cash. I mean, thing is, Jason, the amount of fouls that lad did in the first half, especially on Anthony Gordon. How the hell did he not get booked in the first half? He got to be with an awful lot off that referee.
The ref was making some shocking decisions there.
Yeah,
he was absolutely atrocious.
Even the crowd absolutely turned on him, as quite rightly so.
Yeah.
I've always been one to say, yeah, okay, the refs do need protecting and defending, but now I'm now like doing my own little movement to say, right, the PGMOL, whatever they're bloody called, and the Premier League, they're fine setting all these other rules, but the rule I want to see implied is that refs need to be put on the spot and asked these questions at the end of games, why they're making these stupid decisions.
I don't get it. I really don't. I mean, Andy Madley is not fit to referee, in my opinion. I thought he was absolutely shocking today. Yes, okay, he got the Bruno yellow card, right, because Bruno shouldn't have done that. That's fair enough. You know, but Botman got a yellow card for asking why Martinez wasn't getting a red card. You know, it's just unbelievable, isn't it?
That being said, technically the decision with Martinez was correct, though it shouldn't have been, because
I think I'm not just saying it because of us, though. I'm just saying it in general. I think that rule needs to be changed, because if a goalkeeper is rushing out of an area to go to a player to deliberately take him out of the game, then that should be seen as a cynical foul, and you should be red carded for that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but the rules.
Look, as I said before, Jason, come on. If you go back a couple of years ago at the Amex, Robert Sanchez did the same on Callum Wilson. When all Callum Wilson probably had to do was round Sanchez, and he would have been in the back of the net, and we probably would have won that game that night. But he come out and he took Callum Wilson out. You know,
but last season you had.
The difference from that one,
Edison do it as well for City.
The difference with the one Sanchez at the Amex is that if when Wilson goes round him, there's an empty net, and it's a tap in where Miggy would have a lot to do to actually score. But I still think he should have been sent off, because he's made no effort to play the ball. All he wanted to do was take Miggy out. And say that's the sort of challenge you expect to see at Twickenham, not in a football ground.
I mean, yes, Sanchez did get sent off for Brighton that night because there was no covering defender. But I just think in general, this rule needs to be changed, because if you do it, keepers won't come flying out like that.
Absolutely.
Now, what would have happened? 100%. Now, if there had been Nick Pope come flying out and took out Ollie Watkins, I bet they would have turned around and said, "Oh, that's a red card. Off he goes."
Definitely a red
Even
card.
If Kieran Trippier or Sven Botman was covering, because it's Newcastle. But you know. I'm glad it didn't make no difference, but I think in that situation, maybe not so much give a penalty, but also just say, look, the keeper gets sent off. It's an automatic red card, because if you do that, it'll tell keepers not to do it. Yeah, that was Martinez's intentions, to come out and just take Miggy out the game. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, it's basically when he went for the ball, realised he wasn't going to get there first, so he thought, I'm taking him out.
I mean, does anybody else in the chat agree? Do you think that's what the rules should be? If a keeper comes flying out like that and takes a player out, they should be red carded for it. I mean, I played as a goalkeeper, and I used to come flying out, but I would never go out to take somebody down. If they got round me, fair enough, all fair and square, I got beat. But, you know, I certainly wouldn't try and take a player out of the game, that's for sure.
Keeper's meant to stay in his area, as simple as. You don't come out your own area.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ian says it was a class performance. It was. We were clinical, weren't we, Jason?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. From the minute we started, it dropped off a bit in the second half, but we just dominated. Absolutely dominated from start to finish.
We seemed to take our foot off the gas a little bit, didn't we? Because at the end of the day, you know, we didn't really need to go for it, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Like I said, I thought it was going to be a difficult match, and to see that turn around, bring on City, I can't wait to see what we can do at City.
Dog's Egg says, Gordon looks very sharp, extremely impressed with Tonali and Isak, and will be one of the best players in the world. Absolutely. I mean, look, Isak, right? Let's look at Alexander Isak. I mean, you know, what a player we have on our hands with Alexander Isak. We know the dribbling skills he has, you know. We know what he's done to Everton. He terrorised Everton down that left-hand side. You know, he left about 6 or 7 players in their wake. They couldn't get anywhere near him whatsoever. You know, but this guy is an absolute talent. He's got everything about him. I mean, he comes deep to get the ball, you know, to drive forward. He's got the pace. He's got the skill. He's got the trickery. He knows how to keep himself on side so he doesn't stray off side. You know, if this guy's fit all season, there's no doubt about it. He will hit over 20 goals a season, if not more than that, you know. But I think he'll hit at least 20 this season if he stays fit. And I think Callum Wilson's going to find it hard to get past him. You know, like a lot of players are going to find it hard getting in that team. You know, you've got the likes of Joe Willock to come back yet. Where's he going to fit into that team, you know? It's just nice that everything's looking so strong now. And it was nice to see that Eddie had to say something about Maxi as well after the game. He said, look, he says, yeah, we haven't got Maxi now. He says, we do miss him for that unpredictability that he can bring to a side, and he can do his dribbling. You know, but he says we have got Harvey Barnes now as well. So, you know, but, Eddie was still a bit sad that we didn't have ESM there. But, at least he wasn't bitter about it.
Just talking about ASM, I don't know if anybody in the chat saw his interview after the game he played for, the Saudi team that he's playing for now. It was superb, saying that Newcastle's in his heart and that it's a good deal for the club. And personally, it's a good meal. So if it's good for him. So if everybody's happy, it's a great deal. Because it helps the club to move forward, and I hope they move forward and win something. So it was just such a brilliant interview. And he doesn't have St. Maximan on the back of his shirt; it just has Maxi.
Yeah, yeah. Ian says Shea punched himself in the head after the game. Kovo says the police are after us for killing Villa today. Hi, Tony, Roly, Jason, and all says coffee. Hi, coffee. Kovo says horse teeth Klopp. Hold that LU walking talking teeth advert for Turkey. Ian says it was once we kicked up a gear, they didn't have another gear. Absolutely. Yeah, we were just totally dominant, weren't we? He said, I think Arsenal was the last defeat.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, Bia says we should be generous enough for Hendrick to Liverpool for a bargain price of £100 million.
I mean, he's totally worth it. He's totally worth it. Jeff Hendrick, super Jeff Hendrick, come on.
Yeah.
The Dublin Pirlo.
He's a goal-scoring machine.
Yeah, Kovo says, let's Liverpool get Ryan Fraser for 110 million. Ronald says, Clippity warning about spending money when Liverpool have by far more splashed the cash to us, and the media says no, absolutely, yeah.
That's the one thing that everyone's kicking off with about Klopp, though. He's kind of shot himself in the foot. He couldn't offer 50 for Lavia. And then out of the blue, he's now offered like 110, 111 for Caicedo. So now any club that he wants to go to get a player, they're going to think, okay, well, you couldn't offer this, but all of a sudden you now have money. Well, we're now going to ask for double for that next player. So Liverpool have now been shot in the foot. They're not going to get another player this window.
Coffee says that Martinez tackle was cynical, should have been a red, absolutely. Ian says, this isn't a bit of coincidence. I think we will get better. People have been underestimating us for 18 months now, absolutely. Yeah. Paul says, yeah, it's for how long they spread the payments. That's what changed to 5 years max. Okay, I thought they were talking about contract. I knew there was contracts mentioned as well, but I don't know. Yeah. Contract can be as long as you like. It's a fee that can't be.
Spread
Coffee says, I need to get Matty Cash out my fantasy Premier League team. Get him out. Yeah, don't have him in your team. Jesus. Paul says we scored twice in 20 minutes whereas Mings was still playing. Yeah, definitely. So I don't think that made an effect on the game. Ronald says, FFP, to be fair, the big six to continue pulling the ladder from the likes of us. What's fair about that? Do you know what it is, though, Jason? And I've said this before. The way the Saudis are buying all the European players, now they're after Victor Osimhen from Napoli. Now, if he goes to Saudi, which would be massive, do you think UEFA may look at this and say, hang on a minute, we're losing all the top players from Europe because they're all off to Saudi Arabia because there's no FFP there. Do you think UEFA might sit around the table one day and say, we need to scrap this because if we don't, we're going to start losing all the top players to Saudi Arabia?
It's a bit like how a few years ago, the Chinese league was exactly the same. They would sign all the Europe's top players. So I think it's just going for a spell, the same thing with Saudi. And it's going to die down eventually because now China's got a cap on how much they can spend per window and they can't bring in all the top talent now. So it's going to happen with the same with Saudi. You can see that coming.
I think it's a bit different with China because basically the club started running out of money. That's why they put all these caps in. Whereas in Saudi, I mean, you've got the PIF owning 4 of the clubs, so it's not as if they're going to run out of money.
I like that. BS says Kane's just got the referee to complain about a penalty decision, and remember he can't speak German.
Yeah, it's the best thing about it. Leipzig were 2-0 up. Kane comes on, and then they went 3-0 up.
Ian says about the goal scoring chance. I think Indy says the covering defenders in relatively wide location are what saved Martinez.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen better refs of the Sunday League kickabout than what we have in this Premier League. Yeah, definitely. It's just shocking, isn't it? Ian says if you made every deliberate foul a red card every game, we'd finish with 6 players. There needs to be contacts. We're not on about like outfield players. We're more on about the goalkeeper. I mean, look, if he didn't come out like the way he does, racing out the area to take a player out, that's what I'm on about. It's deliberate. That's what I'm on about, the deliberate act. His act was to get out there and stop Mickey. And I laughed because I think it was a Sky commentator, says Andy Hinchcliffe, obviously ex-Evertonian, so he's going to say stuff like that, but he said, oh well, Mickey's got to get the ball onto his left foot. Well, yeah, because he's left-footed, that's why. It's like telling people stuff that we already knew anyway, and I mean, I'm just like, what a bell end, what an absolute bell end. Foxy says Martinez wasn't a red card, but what a performance, 10 out of 10, absolutely. No, I'm not saying it was a red card, Foxy. All I'm saying is, should the rules not be changed where keepers can't come flying out and into players? Yes, he didn't seriously hurt Almer on a ring, but he could have. And that's the fear, isn't it? Corvo says when Klopp peels an orange, he uses his teeth. Andrew says the 7-0 is coming. Thoughts on the documentary, says Ian. Right. Yeah, do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it, Ian. I thought it was absolutely terrific. You can see how much Yasser Al-Rumayyan loves Newcastle United. You can see how much he's invested in it. It's great to see an owner like that. He even got a suit made with the Newcastle United black and white stripes underneath it and the badges on it. You could see on that video, everybody on that episode last night, all people were like looking at it like, oh, I love that jacket, And yeah, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and I can't wait for next week. I mean, Jason, did you see it?
Yeah, I managed to watch it on a friend's Amazon because I don't have Amazon Prime, so I was like really down because I couldn't go actually watch it. But I managed to watch it on his, and I just had goosebumps throughout the entire time it was on. It was amazing. I can't wait for the next episode. I really cannot wait. I want to get it on like DVD or something so I can just watch it over and over again.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
For those of you who've never had Amazon Prime before, you can get a month's free trial, and there are only 3 more episodes, so you can watch it for free and then cancel the Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's really good insight on how the clubs run. As well as I enjoyed the bits about the players as well. We've got great owners; they know what they're doing. The club is at the heart of everything that they do, unlike the previous owner.
Yeah, who shall not be named, Roly.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know him.
Definitely got to say it's better than that program from the Red and White down the road.
Oh God, yeah. Well, they might be making another one because obviously they may go down again this season. The second, they're not second, but they're fifth bottom. Sorry, because they're on goal difference. They're fifth bottom. Middlesbrough rock bottom at the moment. So it could be a North-East double in League One next season. Ian says football's very popular in Saudi. It isn't down anytime soon.
Yeah.
Gary says Maxi who? Paul says I think all the good players who have gone to Saudi will earn their money, then come to the Premier League for free. Yeah. John says every pundit doesn't rate us. I love it, but I bet Eddie is loving it too. Massive G for the team, absolutely. Yeah. Tonali getting a yellow for getting subbed off. Yeah, because he took his time. Just a bit of shithousery. And do you know what? I haven't got a problem with that. As long as he doesn't get 5. Paul says, goalkeeper or not, you can't dive on players.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He probably would have worthy of a yellow if he was inside the area. But when you're outside of the area, goalkeepers can't do that.
Yeah. All the Soccer Saturday pundits has us in the top 5 apart from Paul Merson. Well, he's next
What a
smuggy, would
surprise.
expect. When Klopp peels a melon, he uses his teeth, says Trolls. Ian says, I've watched it like 6 times now. Do you want spoilers for episode 2? Episode
No.
2? Have you seen it already, have you? Where have you seen episode 2? Have you seen that? I would love to know. Why was Pope sent off against Liverpool and professional foul? Well, because he handled the ball.
handball outside the box.
Yeah, he handled that.
Corvo said the Sunderland documentary was like an episode of EastEnders, the constant crying and cringe drama. Our documentary was unreal to watch. Yeah,
True.
absolutely. Tonight it's a sub on the halt, isn't it? So, you know, they'll... I've heard that the buses back to Villa won't be on the road, they'll be on the sea because there'll be that many tears coming out the Villa fans' faces. Eyes. Troll says even a crocodile would somewhere seen Klopp's gnashers. I had a grin from start to finish with those behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. Just finished watching it now. Brilliant, says Clarky.
Yeah.
Fulham have announced Adama Traore with a picture of Johnson's baby oil. Foxy says the atmosphere looked insane the other day. I was watching Maxi's Saudi League yesterday. Yeah, I've not seen the Saudi League. I'm going to have to catch up with it.
Well, I probably won't watch it, but because I don't tend to watch football outside of English football, mainly because I haven't got a horse in the race. So I don't really care who wins. But there's a lot of enthusiasm. I mean, look at the reception we got when we went out there for the warm weather training, the 2 times we've been to study. It's been, they love their football there.
Yeah, I did try watching the Saudi League. I just couldn't get into it. The only leagues I really watched are the English and the Bundesliga. Hence why I ended up watching the Cup, which Harry Kane is still searching for a trophy because it's full time and then Bayern lost.
Ian says there are people on YouTube who have seen episode 2. Tony and Roly, I've got a song for you, says Corvo. For you legends, he says. Saturday night, and I like the way you move Sandro Tonali. Lovely, love it, love it. I've watched them, says Ian. Ronald says, it gets me, Corvo, that the Mackhams on Twitter claim that they are obsessed by them, mocking of them. Of course, we are Derby rivals, though. I mean, the thing is, look, unfortunately, the internet in Sunderland is down tonight. Due to the fact is that they lost to Preston away at the Deepdale, and also that we won tonight, so they can't have a go at us. So unfortunately, the internet is still down in Sunderland at the moment and won't be reconnected for at least another week. So be safe, guys. Mackham's aren't online at the moment. Ian says there was a press release of the documentary. Some people got to see episode 2. I've watched them talking about it. Fair enough. What's the difference between handball and a deliberate foul, says Clarky. Well, yeah, and I see what you mean. It's, you know, the Sad Mac and Bastards documentary is depressed in North End today. Depressed. I like the way you've put it, depressed. Yeah, absolutely. Harry Kane doing the Spursy things in Munich. Tony Mowbray on a new 10-year contract for Sunderland. Let's go. I think he'll be sacked soon, I tell you. Junior Turner, hi mate, hope you're well. He says 5-1 incredible. Absolutely, Junior. Absolutely, mate, wasn't it? What a great. Sent you a couple of DMs. Tony says coffee. Cheers, mate. I'll have a look. I mean, yeah, just some bit of transfer news going around, and just to keep you up to date with it. It is being reported in the media. How true it is, I do not know. So again, I'm just saying this is a rumour. Apparently, we are looking at the Watford player, Yasser Asprilla. Yes, you heard that right. Yasser Asprilla. He's a Colombian. Same surname as the great Tino Asprilla. But yeah, apparently we're looking at him. I don't know much more about it other than that. But also Brighton are interested as well. So he is looking to leave Watford. I don't know a lot about him because I haven't seen a lot of him, to be honest with you.
He's a young lad.
Not sure. Yeah, not sure what he's like.
And the thing that encourages me about his ability. If he's a young lad and Brighton after him, it's got to be good, because they go after young talent, and they're very good at spotting young talent. So if of course, but obviously Dan Ashworth set up their scouting system, so it doesn't surprise me looking at him. But it's always good when you look at young players, and Brighton are interested, because you know they're going to be good.
Right, I'll just go through his stats. I mean, look, we'll go last season because that's probably better for him. He's 19 years of age, Colombian. I mean, Foxy's in the chat. He might explain a bit about him. His weaknesses are his aerial duels. He's an attacking midfielder, no outstanding strengths. Last season, he started 14 games out of 37. He got 1 goal and 2 assists. His accurate passing per game was 76%. That's in the Championship. And he got 4 yellow cards all season. But he's an attacking midfielder. 19 years of age. I mean, obviously, nowhere near his peak. So again, it's just one of those maybe to keep an eye on. I mean, Watford signed him back in 2022, so only last year. And he signed from Envigado FC. So there we go, for €3 million. Not sure what his value is, to be honest with you, but again, we are supposed to be looking at him. As I say, Foxy will know more. In fact, there we are. Foxy's just said, excellent prospect. Aspria will stand out with Envigado. Hasn't helped joining Watford, who've changed manager 100 times. Absolutely, Foxy. That's the thing. Yeah,
Pretty much.
They're an absolutely woeful club. I mean, look, if you're a manager and you want a job and you want a short-term job but you want to make a quick buck, go to Watford. Go to Watford, make them shite, and you'll get sacked after 3 or 4 games, and you'll have a 6 or 7. You'll have a great payoff from Watford. I mean, I'm surprised they've got money left, them owners, because the way they keep sacking managers, surely they'll run out of money soon.
It's almost like if you want a job for the summer holidays or the Christmas holidays, go become manager of Watford. Can only keep you for a couple of weeks.
You should have said that. I think Steve Bruce has now put his job application in.
Yeah, that's probably why they won't take Bruce on, because I know he shan't. Brent says the Seagulls have chewed up the internet line in Sunderland. Did anyone hear that new song today, Loud and Proud? I didn't quite. I'm not sure. Was it over the... I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Mine saying I was fixated on the game, so I don't know. Tino and Aspria says... The difference, Martinez wasn't the last man in the corner. Pope was last man and more central. Yeah, that's correct.
Well, Pope was handball, or keeper handles outside the box. It's a straight red card.
Says the way to Barcelona, Bayern, Munich, Lazio, Roma. Brilliant song, just Junior, brilliant. Corvo says, get the lad saying that Howe work his magic on him, absolutely. Howe said he definitely wants one more signing. It will be a defender, though I'd imagine, one right-sided centre-back, don't we? Foxy says, excellent. Oh, yeah, we read that one, sorry. Similar positions, 100 times. Yeah, that's what it feels like for Watford fans. Crocky says 98. Exploding Northeast. All right, lads, absolutely amazing to start the season for the Toon. Absolutely, mate, in it. When you become the manager of Watford, you get a signed picture of Elton John. It's a candle in the wind, isn't it?
That's what you get on the way out.
Yeah. Corvo says, does Watford have a kebab shop? Bruce will want a doner kebab. They've definitely got a Greg's, I'm sure. At least Watford don't have Elton John joining them in the team bath anymore. Oh my God, honestly, Jesus. So I'm going to come around the table. I mean, Jason, who was your man of the match today and why?
I know Tonali got the man of the match, but for me personally, I want to give it to Anthony Gordon. I'd never had him. I had him as one of my starters, but I wasn't expecting him to just be full of energy for the entire match. He was constantly running. I think it was through one of Villa's breaks. you see Diaby was bursting down, getting towards the box, and the speed that Gordon just exploded to go straight down and tackle Diaby off that ball. I mean, Gordon gets that man of the match for me. He was running all over that pitch. Sets up a goal, gets an assist. Shame he didn't grab himself a goal. But for a young kid, he's going to have a good season if he's going to be starting games.
Yeah, absolutely. Roly, your man of the match?
Though Anthony Gordon was very good, I'm going to give it to Sandro. I thought a goal and an assist. I thought he ran midfield. Villa could hardly lay a finger on him. He was just superb. You can see why Eddie wanted him. And people are saying, "Oh, he won't be able to cope in the Premier League. He's not happy here. He's forced to leave Inter Milan." I think he's put all that to bed. His goal was really well taken, really good awareness and gambling. His ball in, he didn't get the assist because it was Botman will get the assist, but his ball into the box for Botman to play it across for Isak. I thought he was all over the pitch, strong in the tackle. Was good holding the ball up. He just
somebody's got the sneezes.
Yes, the missus.
Yeah, he looked like he'd been playing in that team for years. You wouldn't have thought that was his first game. So I'll give it to Sandro.
Yeah, John seeing Gordon as well. Clarky says that was a PD. He laughed. Anthony Gordon was amazing today. Kept the crowd cheering. Was getting stuck in to everything. I agree. Gordon man the match. Thing is with Gordon, he's the best player, but Barnes is lethal. And I'm sure at the end of the day, Gordon will come better and he'll start hitting the back of the net. And when he does, I think once he starts knocking the ball in the back of the net, he won't stop scoring. I don't think. But I thought the lad played really well. I mean, he was close to man the match for me, but I did tip Tonali for the man the match. I thought Isak was close as well because I thought Isak had a great game.
Yeah.
And as I say, if Isak stays fit all season, he'll score 20 plus. I think easily.
Absolutely.
So Gary says, Tony Roly, can you remember a few weeks ago I asked you how many times you think we'll win 8-0 this season? Doesn't seem so daft now, does it? Gary, I didn't think it was a daft thing, but do you know what? You're not far wrong. I mean, look, we could have quite easily hit 8 today, in all honesty. But yeah, no. We're going to come up against other teams. And, I mean, look, God help Luton Town when they come to St James's Park. We may get that record. We might beat Man City to the fastest 5 goals, against Luton Town. Maybe Haaland might beat us to it on his own against Luton Town. Who knows? Ian says, Gordon's a better player, but Barnes is like a ferret in a good way. Yeah. Corvo says Tonali could open up a locked door with his passing like he does with the defence. Yeah, he does. Man the match for me, Tonali says, Clarky, he was everywhere. Goal plus played a part in other goals, tackle, literally everything, and he's only going to get better. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Right, guys. I mean, Foxy says, I wouldn't pick out any individual. Everyone has a great player, proper team performance. I mean, look, you couldn't give anybody less than 8 out of 10, to be honest with you, because they were all superb today. We are coming to the end of the show, guys, because I don't know how many people might want to be off and watching the boxing and things like that, because the boxing's on. Anthony Joshua's on. I know I'm going to go off and watch the boxing as well. So, yeah. Right, okay. I'll come round the table. Jason, do you want to let people know where they can find you on your socials and give your channel a plug as well? Thanks.
Well, I used to do the Kicking It Soon YouTube channel. Stopped it and took a year out because it was getting a load of stress. I was getting stressed out of it. I went to my other passion in gaming, so I'm a streamer. I stream retro video games. You can find me on Twitch and on Kick. But for football stuff, for all Newcastle content, You can find me on my second channel that I've now restarted. I've got about 21 subs last check. That's Keeping It Tuned YT, all one word, without the bracket in my name. You'll find me there. It's also the home of where I used to do my Sinclair Awards, which is now called the Thor Awards for everyone's favourite character, my alter ego, who managed to gain me more subs than me being myself, which I don't know how that would happen. But yeah, it's my comedy show where I do find bloopers from everybody and just expose it. I've got another one of them coming out pretty soon as well, because I was on another show this afternoon doing a Arsenal watch along, and they kind of messed up a bit on that, so that'll be coming out soon. But yeah, Keeping It Tuned YT. I'm a Londoner, but I bleed black and white.
Absolutely. Roly, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pole67. If you follow me, I'll follow you back eventually. I'll say that because Jason followed me and I hadn't realised.
Yeah,
him back.
You got a yellow card. You got your red card rescinded to a yellow. Brand says every signing has been a success under Eddie. Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Even Chris Wood was a success in the way under Eddie Howe. You know, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mentioned Chris Wood around me.
Yeah, but he came and he did what he was supposed to do, help keep us up.
Could not stand the plank.
Yeah, but he kept us up, and we got most of our money back when we sold in the forest.
I would rather put the Shearer statue in the ground. That would have done more movement than Chris Wood would have done.
Yeah, possibly. I'm not saying he's a great player, but he did what he was brought in to do.
Yeah. Guys, if you have liked what you see, then please do smash that like if you haven't done so already. It does help keep the channel towards top of the search and means new viewers find the channel easily. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and smash the subscribe and be part of this great community we have here. And also the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows as well. Now currently only 7 subscribers away from 1,000. So thank you very much indeed for the new subscribers tonight. And just go to the last few comments. John says, thank you. Good night, everyone. Have a great weekend. You too, John. Thanks, mate. Ian says, great show, guys. Thank you very much, Ian. Clarky says, it took Roly 23 years to follow me back.
I know the feeling. What?
Bye, Tony, Roly, Jason, and all says, coffee. Bye-bye, coffee.
Bye, coffee.
Enjoy your evening. Alba smiling faces tonight, folks. Absolutely. John says, great stream. Thank you, Tony and Roly. No worries, John. Cheers, mate. Clarky says, later, guys. Later, Clarky. Brill show. How are you, the lads? Absolutely go watch. Cheers, mate. Thank you. And we got a new member tonight, El Capo, Cannon Toon. Look no further, is a new member. Thank you very much indeed, my friend. And Andrew says, ta-ta for now. Ta-ta for now, Andrew. And yes, off to watch the boxing soon. So, yeah. But, yeah, thank you, guys, for coming on tonight. Thank you for jumping on as well, Jason. Definitely having you back on the channel again anyway. Not a problem at all. What have I got coming up tomorrow? I'm not sure what's coming up tomorrow at the moment. But we've got plenty of shows coming up next week. We'll have the preview next week at some point for the Man City game. So I'll hopefully have a City fan on for that as well. I'm at Newmarket Racing on Friday afternoon. So I might do something from the racecourse maybe for you. Give you a little bit of insight what's going on there. It's only because I'm going to a concert on the night time, because I don't normally go to the horse racing in all honesty. But let's see if I can go let's see if I can go and win a few quid anyway on Friday night. Who knows?
If we see you on a horse, we know we're not to place a bet on that horse.
Yeah, definitely don't place a bet on that horse. Good night, lads and lasses, says Predator. Good night, mate.
Right.
Good night. Well, I'll watch Match of the Day than Joshua, though. Yeah. Well, I just want to see if he gets beat again. Good show, one. Thank you very much. Bring on anyone after that. We are seriously going to score some this season, absolutely. Beautiful effing day, girls and boys, guys, absolutely. so much pace and creativity there is. And the bench looked even stronger as well, which was absolutely fantastic. As I always say, remember, the future's bright. The future is definitely black and white, and it's bye-bye from me.
Goodbye from me.
See ya.
Away the lads.